Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this community meeting. Community committee meeting, even. We'll start on agenda item 1. Apologies for absence. I've received apologies from councillors Hinton and Hunt. I think everybody else is here. Right? Yes. Item 2 is declarations of interest. Does anyone have any declarations of interest on anything on tonight's agenda? Seeing none, so we'll move on to public participation. No, okay, so we'll move on to minutes. This is going very well. So item 4, minutes to approve the minutes of the Town Community Committee meeting held on the 19th of November 2024. Councillor Canberra.
Oh, sorry. I thought I was reading the wrong page.
Yeah, I propose.
Okay. Anybody have any comments? Yeah, all those in favour? Councillor Canberra, do you have the agenda with
Yeah, the new agenda.
Are you missing some pages?
No, I'm sorry. I was just noticing that my name was missing from the membership, and I hadn't thought to check the other members of the town community to see if I was listed. But I'm pretty
You
sure
are.
I'm a member.
You are, I'll just check.
Okay.
Also to note the minutes of the Henning and Bloom subcommittee meeting held on the 16th of January 2025, and to note the minutes of the event subcommittee meeting on the 20th of January 2025. Councillor Miller.
I would just like to mention that we are considering moving the events, the Mayfair, to the last bank holiday in May. It's usually the 1st, I believe. It was scheduled for the 5th. It's usually the 1st.
Yeah, first Monday.
But I've been talking to a few of the officers, and we've got a huge VE Day celebrations, organisations, and it was suggested. I suggested that perhaps we have it at the end of May, when not only are there less events happening, but also the weather could be slightly better. So obviously I'll propose this in the next events meeting, but I just wanted people to.
And is that proposed as a sort of a one-off or a permanent?
I think it would probably be just a one-off, I think, and then move back, because as I was talking to Councillor Everton earlier, I mean, people, you know, it's an event that happens every year on the first month bank holiday of May. So, but I think for just for this year, we.
Councillor Everton?
Yeah, because I think it's very important that it's on the normal day, but I can understand where there's a lot going on, a lot of staff doing other stuff for the VE, and you're only talking about a few days difference between it, and to organise that and the VE Day as well. So you'll just be thinning it down too much. So yeah, go for that day, for that one off, and then back to normal, because it does bring a lot of business into the town.
Yeah.
And yeah.
While we await the decision of the events committee, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, Vicky.
Sorry, Chairman, just before we move on, just notice actually on the agenda, the minutes that we're approving for town community 21st of January, 19th of November, which are the minutes that are actually attached to your agenda,
Oh,
but
yeah.
just got the wrong date written there, so that's.
Right, yes, okay. Thank you. Right. Okay, so we don't need to go back into it. We'll just wait a minute. Okay, so we'll move on to item 5, which is the police report. That is on page, where are we? Yeah, page 15 for the police report. Okay, anybody have any comments on the police report?
Could I ask one question?
Absolutely.
Sorry. What does it mean, a community resolution? What does that entail?
That's a good question.
Because I'm just wondering, I don't know if it happens in other councils, whether if you've got young people causing damage to like Christmas trees or whatever, if we as a council could get them helping us out on a day and do some litter collecting, or I don't know, just something.
Community payback day.
Community payback day, yeah.
Yeah.
That.
So where they are under 18, I believe you do a youth restoration disposal. I think that's what's called, where, yes, where basically they do that.
Yeah.
I think whilst it says young persons, I believe they young adults.
Yeah.
I believe. So, yeah, and one has, so one has been asked to repay the cost of the damage lights, which I think is around £750.
Something like
Wow.
Really?
Um,
Wow.
But I don't know about the other two.
Yeah.
People on the 28th of December. So yes, I don't know what it means by community
No,
resolution.
no.
Apologies.
The community resolution order, which is a sort of, where they have to basically apologise and realise what they've done, but it means they don't get a criminal record, which
Yeah.
is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I understood they had apologised to the mayor or
Yeah,
something.
I think
They-
I'd heard they'd apologised.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, makes sense. Okay. Councillor Rushton.
This committee in the past, and I may have missed it recently, used to get reports on CCTV, the use of it, and in both detecting and providing evidence to court, for example. Do we still receive such this committee? So, because I happen to be signing off the town council invoices. I noticed we spent quite a lot of money on the CCTV, and reading the police reports, I noticed there wasn't a reference to the CCTV being used. So, do we get reports to this committee? Or have you just missed it? I overlooked it. And are they still of use? And can we ask that they be restored or provided if there has been a change of policy?
I think we do, don't we? They're annual, aren't they?
Yeah, I think we do get some reports.
That's all.
Are they annual? Right, okay.
I believe the meetings of the steering group are they quarterly?
Quarterly, yeah.
Quarterly, so there should be quarterly
There
reports.
should be one coming up.
To this committee?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it can be included if we need to. Yeah. And I did actually went and reviewed all the CCTV last week or the week before, positions and that kind of stuff. So it's always a useful visit.
Okay, good. So I noticed there was a reference to various events, no reference to the use of CCTV. The Christmas tree is sort of right by a
Well,
CCTV
that's
camera,
what
so there
they
should have
used.
been evidence.
It
It was used, was it?
The two, the first culprits was picked up by his father, and they got a number plate from the one outside the town hall.
Okay,
So it was very
Right.
useful.
no, they should have said in the report.
I'm quite happy to share the minutes of the last CCTV management meeting.
Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that could be passed around to the committee members of the committee, that would be good.
Councillor Hoskins.
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
What is CPS?
Criminal
Crown
prosecution
Service.
service. Crown prosecution service.
Crime Prosecution Service. Okay.
Councillor Pendergrass.
Thank you. Yes, just a quick question. So this increasing antisocial behaviour in the meadows during the evening,
Yeah.
how, is there any more information on that? Like what kind of antisocial behaviour? Who's been
Drinking.
reporting it? Is this CCTV? Is this members of the public worried on an evening walk that, I don't know, like is there any more information? And what does increased patrols mean? Is that every night? Do they?
I think when these
Just
things
wondering.
happen, and they, it's young people gathering to spend some time together, and sometimes they're maybe drinking or whatever. The police become aware of that, and then they make sure they repeatedly go down there, maybe, and after a few days, generally they don't come back and find somewhere else to hang out. So I think that's probably what they're trying to refer to. And then once it's moved on, they move on somewhere else as well.
I think Parks team have a lot of involvement down
Yeah.
there because they
Yeah.
notice a lot of stuff going on. So they'll generally report things if they see things.
But there is the
There is
police do always go down there. I mean, the Meadows, even when I was a kid, because they all go down there, and they drink and they might get a bit loud sometimes. But there's usually a police presence. If someone walking in, they'll get down there. So.
You get caught.
I always got caught, yeah. I threw my sherry over into the bowling.
I was going to say,
Could you note that, please?
I don't think we know exactly what the increase has been. Previously, it has been damaging the toilet doors at Mill Meadows, but that's stopped since we put bars in front of the doors. But I can check with Parks tomorrow to see what the actual nature and
Yeah,
social
I-
behaviour being.
I think it's wondering what is the line between young people having an enjoyable evening to antisocial behaviour. I just don't know what the categorisation is.
Councillor Buckley?
There was just, again, going back, the guys down the people on the boats, there was one case where they put fire lights up, Christmas lights up on the boats, and some drunken children pulled it off, and then came back and tried to pull it off again. So there's been damage to boats, there's been
Yeah.
various things.
Councillor Emerson, did you want to comment?
I think it was, we've had a few break-ins down there over the years, but I don't think we've had anything major for quite some time. So I think it's better, not as bad as it was.
And they have CCTV there as well, so.
Yeah. Okay, so any further comments on Councillor Rice?
I just want to take up Councillor Kandiah's point, which is that there should be a clear distinction between young people or anyone gathering at Mill Meadows to use the facility to enjoy themselves. And there's a clear difference between that and being disruptive or vandalising. It's a social area that's available for everyone. And I hope that we don't simply assume that because young people are using it in the evenings that there isn't that is by definition a bad thing. We provide facilities for everyone in this town to enjoy, and as long as they're enjoying them properly, then we welcome them.
Well, this isn't us making assumptions, it's the police that are saying. Anyway, so we'll move on, thank you very much, to item 6, which is the town centre manager update. Thank you all. Town centre manager is here, if anybody has any questions. Councillor Hoskins and Miller.
Could, regarding the repair cafe.
Yeah.
Where might it be located if it's going to be in?
Sure. I can answer that. So this has been on the progress list for
Yeah.
decades, is right, but definitely years. And we had a breakthrough in the last couple of weeks where this chap, David Stevenson, came forward through the Climate and Nature Emergency Action Group and put himself forward and said he'd like to do this. So we found the right person, and he seems to have a team of people who are willing and able, and he seems to know what he's doing as well. So I had already previously done some work on this and lined up the YMCA as the venue. So I was able to pass that on to him. And also I'd met with someone called Ron Brindle, who was the chap who set up the Gorning Repair Cafe. So I put all those people together, and David is now happily going off and getting organised for the first one, which will hopefully happen in the next 6 months. So there'll be more news once he's got it set up.
And will it be advertised by the council?
Yeah, we'll support it.
Is there conversations been had on car park situation?
Yes, it's awful there.
Yeah, I know they've recently changed it so that you
Got cameras.
you have much longer now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they changed it from 1 hour to 2 hours or something last time.
But you have to put the code in and things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite complicated. You can't just drive up and take your bicycle in or something. It's
I'm
quite
sure they'll figure
complicated.
that out.
Councillor Ellison.
Yeah, I think you got about an hour from what I can gather, because I've picked stuff up there. As long as you're not there more than an hour, but if you are, you just leave your registration number and that'd be all right. The only reason it didn't happen before, because everybody that wanted, because I had some volunteers to do it, but it was always coming back down to the liability, and no one wanted to take the liability factor of it all, and the insurances was going to cost a lot of money. So this person's obviously looked into that and got the right insurance. To do with that.
And the advisors, the other people who've done it as well, so there should be a really solid.
So it'll be a thing, because they have one in Wallingford every month.
Yeah.
And it's good that we can start getting things recycled rather than chucked away.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I was just going to briefly say, he has already done the calculations for the setup cost, including insurance, which is basically coming in at about £2,000 to £2,300, basically to set it up and run it sustainably. And so we are currently looking at how the council might be able to meet those costs, because obviously it is in the council strategic plan to get this set up. So we're looking at that at the moment.
Thank you. Councillor Miller.
Two things actually. First thing is Megan, was it Megan's? Is that still coming to Henley in the bank?
I have no idea
Oh,
what the current
okay.
state of the contract is. They've been trying to do a contract for about 2 years,
Okay,
and it's very complicated.
okay,
So I would say maybe.
possibly, okay. And the second thing is, you've raised £11,000 already, sponsorship for
It's actually
Christmas.
gone up since then, but
Has
yes.
it? That's amazing. Well done.
Good.
Really good.
Thank you. Councillor Kendall, then Dodds.
Yeah, I just want to say really great news in the Repair Cafe. Look forward to seeing that in practice. And just could you share a few highlights about attending the Chewing Gum Task Force webinar?
Yeah.
What were the key sticking points?
There's a lot of sticking points.
Nice.
That's good.
A lot to chew over.
I'll stop. Dave, it's like you're here 3 times.
There's a lot, but basically it was a webinar about how to apply. So it's quite interesting. You have to put a lot of information in there and be very specific about what you're trying to achieve, photographs, etc. So I can choose particular problem areas. So I'm working with Washfall to clean the streets, and we're going to come up with the best kind of ideas for that and the best plan to include in the application. I think the applications has to be by the end of March. So we're kind of that's where we're at. But it's interesting, and there's people out there who take chewing gum very seriously and make it their life's work. So
Yes,
it's
well, it
interesting to know.
is a littering and a plastic issue as well.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Councillor Dodds.
Just a quick update on the VE Day. We're just about, you were asking, Daisy, hopefully tomorrow, the website will be able to send it over to you. It's very full and very exciting. We have a website, yes, and all the details. And yes, it's all very exciting. Every school has replied and is coming to the Education Day, so we've got over 100 kids coming on that Thursday. The dance on the Friday, the tickets will go on sale soon, and they will just sell out, they'll fly. So if you want to come, and then we've got the Spitfire and all of that, and we've got the lectures and the walks and everything. And now the boat people are interested, they want to decorate the boats down by the river, and just things are coming. Once the word gets out, people want to take part and enthuse. The schools were lovely. It wasn't just, oh, thanks for asking us. It's saying, what a brilliant thing to put on, and we're really thrilled, and thank you very much. So, and it's all done with the support, obviously, of Town Council and all of that. So, we'll send it over to you, and then it's sharing, the advert. You obviously have to put it out, and we'll put it out on the website and tickets and all that stuff. So it's all happening.
Is there a council budget for it?
Yes. There
How
is.
much?
And there's lots of sponsorship. It's 2.5K.
Okay.
And we've got sponsorship. Education Day is sponsored. We're looking pretty hopeful of sponsorship, although the dance will pretty much pay for itself. We've got a free, the money raised from the bar, any profits, she's doing it at cost, and any profits go to the British Legion. That's on the Friday, and then the Saturday we're looking at sponsors for the Spitfire and bits and pieces. We've got the Home Guard coming with all their
Amazing.
outfits.
Can I
They're
just
all
one little
terribly
question?
keen.
I know. Is this a Henley Town Council event, or is it an Experience Henley event?
No, it's a Henley Town
It's
Council.
under Henley Town Council. Brilliant.
It's all done.
Excellent.
Town Council. But there's, because it's too much for so the three of us are giving a huge amount of time to it. Richard, Philippa and myself. You couldn't expect, the town hall staff to give the sort of time that we've done. I mean, I spend all day with this, but yes, Sheridan, thanks to everyone who's helping, and you'll see it's all credited in the website.
Brilliant.
And thanks to everybody. It's going to be an amazing event. Yeah.
Can't wait. Anybody else have any comments? Okay.
Did you have a question, Mario?
No, that's fine.
All right, thank you. Then we'll move on to agenda item 7, which is the communications manager extensive update. Thank you for joining us today, Daisy. Did anybody have any comments or questions on Daisy's report? Ms. Kandahar.
Yeah, so I think I did come across the information centre at one of the stalls last year. I'd just be interested to know what the engagement has been, or kind of what questions residents or people who are passing by, like, is there a way of kind of,
Yeah, they're tracking
Understanding-
what people are asking for.
Okay.
But the general positive is people that wouldn't normally walk into the town hall are actually speaking to them. And
Yeah.
that's what the general feedback is,
Yeah.
like, we've never considered coming in. So that's a huge bonus,
Yeah.
but hopefully they can then put faces to that and kind
Yeah.
of meet Sally and meet Jackie and then feel more comfortable to walk in. Because the big feedback is it's very intimidating walking into the town hall. So actually having them out there has been really good from that point of view, that they've been accessing people that wouldn't normally do that.
and are there general things that people need help with, or?
Just it's similar to what they get on a day-to-day basis, nothing different. But that's just the biggest kind of difference that they've noticed.
Very interesting. Positive that the views on the video were so high, and all our followers and views are just up across the board, which is really good to us. We're actually contacting and connecting with people. Councillor Riceman.
The point about the entrance to town hall being slightly intimidating is something that we've thought about for a very long time. It'd be interesting to see if there are any new ideas in that area, to encourage people to come in when, because we do have an information desk there, and it's supposed to cover all the activities of the different councils. I wanted to ask about, you produced 3 marketing initiatives last year for the adventure golf and weddings. We've had reports back from those that have been very successful, in that the wedding income and the adventure golf income has continued to be very successful. You also did one in the Columbarium. I don't think I've seen a report back on that. And I'm not asking you to produce figures now, but it's sort of one of the less well-known facilities that we have, and I think it's one that certain people who do have loved ones who've died would perhaps be interested in, and perhaps aren't aware of it existing. I'm wondering if we could have a report, or if you can give a verbal report now, that's fine, but I've put you on the spot on it.
Well, it's very much doing similar stuff that I've done for the others, but there hasn't been any uptake at all or interest. So it's a case of actually, I spoke recently to Sheridan about this, but I'm actually going to have to go and speak to the funeral directors locally and actually ask the question, because something isn't working. And I don't have the knowledge to know what, but we've done better marketing, we've got better information sheets to give to people, the cemetery staff are kind of having that conversation, but the columbarium is not working currently.
Yeah, that sounds like the right thing to do, is to
Yeah,
try and
so I'm
talk
going
to
to
people.
go directly go and have a chat with them and see if they've got any thoughts on it.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anybody else have any comments or questions? Okay, I see none. So we'll move on. Thank you, Daisy. We'll move on to item 8, which is the, again, pretty extensive report from Hallett. Yeah, Councillor Aston.
As I recall, I might be misremembering. I'm sure the town centre manager can correct me. This was a 6-month project to try and improve Henley's profile in the film and media area. And
tourism.
yes, but it was focusing particularly on that area, and it does appear from the report that it is broader than that originally. The interest that's being generated is broader than perhaps I remembered it, and it's also it's quite slow moving as well, as is pointed out in the report. And so I think we were carrying out a 6-month. We funded it for 6 months. And with a review to come afterwards. I mean, is this the review that we're having? But it looks like from the report, my take on it is that it's too early to tell
Yeah.
quite how successful it's been, although there's plenty of potential there.
I
What
think
do you
you're
think
right.
your view is?
I think you're right. I mean, I think this is a brilliant thing to be doing for Henley. That's why I'm really behind it. And I've continued to fund it from a grant from SODC, which I've got for the rest of another 5 months or something.
No, right, that's good.
So it's kind of rolled. That's why I've kind of allowed it to roll, because seeing that it takes so long to get these things moving, you know, we're not going to really get to that point until 18 months on into 26, 27 seasons. So I don't know if that really answers it, but I've just kind of allowed it to keep on rolling because it needs to keep on rolling. And we can't really judge it until it's rolled.
No, like the fact they've got a grant and the money isn't
Yeah.
isn't coming from our budget.
No, exactly.
That's I hadn't realised that. So
No,
well
and
done again.
it's a grant which I can keep applying for each year. So
Which district council?
the Southern Vale
In economic development.
economic.
Sorry, economic development. Sorry, right.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay. That's.
Yeah.
I hadn't realised that you were applying for it. So that was good news again on
They keep
fundraising.
reminding me to apply.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. Thanks. That's useful update.
Previously, no one had applied for this grant. So it was pointed out we
Really?
were one of the only towns who hadn't applied for it, so I applied for it.
Wow. I'll have a comment to speak to us.
Yeah, she would, yeah. She's very accessible if she's in the country not talking about Henley.
That'd be nice. Okay, did anybody else have any comments about the film and tourism report? I see none, so we will move on to finance to consider the management accounts. How are we looking?
About £50,000 below.
Well done. Which is good, the right way.
We can see if the chair of finance is happy.
Well, in these circumstances, I like to point out that coming in under budget can mean that we've been effective in making sure the costs are kept low and that we're running efficiently. It also means sometimes the projects are delayed, which is less positive. I was trying to distinguish the two, but yeah, keeping within our budget is in principle definitely a good thing.
Councillor Kandai.
Oh, sorry, I see this little footnote that talks about the PCSO. Is that the
Community support officer.
Yeah.
the
Community support
policing
officer.
Yeah.
thing? So what happened with that?
We stopped funding.
Okay.
There was a
Any
scheme.
implications?
There was a scheme whereby
Yeah, I
the,
don't- yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much you're aware of it, but for anyone else who's listening, there was a scheme, and we would agree with Thames Valley Police matched funding for an extra PCSO, and but we for that we expected a clear explanation of what we were getting for our money, and in the end. We took the view that we hadn't received an explanation, and therefore we discontinued the support of the PCSO. Which didn't really apply to Henley anyway. So that was the reason, and it was really just taking the view that the argument whether it was good value or not for the town council and the residents of Henley hadn't been made, and so yeah, there's no reason why we can't in the future restore it. At the moment, we no longer part of that arrangement.
Town clerk.
I was going to note on the finances. So we have had obviously the town bus service has the fact that it hasn't extended has saved us 25,000 this year, and the savings on the PCSO are very good. On Christmas there is an overspend on Christmas, and that will be coming back to the next committee to look at that and also look at plans for Christmas and moving forwards, and how we fund it and how we make it kind of sustainable. Because obviously we've been putting in a lot of work. Obviously, particularly Paul has been putting in a lot of work to really make it as big and as fantastic as possible. But we also need to take some time to just review it and review the costs and make sure it's all under control, basically. But so basically, that's to say there is overspend in the Christmas festival, and that will be coming back.
It definitely feels like it's on the up. It's getting really busy, really popular. Yeah, Councillor Riceman?
Well, in fact, I was talking to the town centre manager and town clerk this morning about this, and the rewiring of the Christmas lights that was completed last week, and again, just part of filling in all the invoices and then approving them, and yeah, there have been problems over the years with the Christmas lights. We've invested heavily in order to make sure that they provide the sort of show that the residents are happy with, and that the commercial side of the town is happy with. And that investment in the infrastructure of the Christmas festival is now complete. The rewiring is done, and the Christmas lights should now work perfectly in future. There were one or two failures because of the fact that we haven't completed that rework of the infrastructure.
But the thing is, how many did you say came? Was it 100,000 or something? Some huge number, wasn't it? What was it?
The police suggested between 8 and 10,000.
8 and 10,000. Okay. I mean, really, we don't want it any bigger than that. I mean, it was really hard to move with that. So it's a matter, really, of keeping the word that's got around and keeping it good, so it's not disappointing. But we don't want to grow it any more than that. I mean, how does everyone park? I don't know.
I think the weather this year was a big factor because it was so mild and pleasant. Really helps.
But yeah.
Normally it's not that nice.
I mean, the town is so busy. I mean, because I live in the town, and I walk in the town every day. It is so busy every day, and we keep talking about bringing people into town, Well, they're all coming, you know. They are all coming, and so we're doing something right. And I think it's that any day of the week you walk in the town, and it's absolutely buzzing with people.
It probably has something to do with our vacancy rate being so low.
Absolutely.
Yes, I was about to make the same point.
Yeah, I mean, we've had half term, which has been particularly busy, but I'm always surprised at how busy our town is, which is great. We're doing something.
And of course, one option, you say we don't want more people coming into the town centre on the Christmas festival, but in fact, there are, and I believe the event committee is looking at the way of spreading it out. So the marketplace itself is not so full of stalls, and the radio rights away from that are spread out a little. There are ways of managing the enormous popularity of the event. It doesn't have to be something that cramps people in, and that's just a way of making sure that the expectations are planned for when we do the risk assessments.
Exactly. So risk assessments, and it's safe. Yeah.
Thank you. Councillor Eccleston?
With the Christmas, in certain parts, like Ian Riceman was saying, it is very congested up when you come up to the marketplace. People couldn't get through. I mean, I'm sure this come out in the report anyway. And in some cases, you wouldn't have been able to get an ambulance through, which is what we should have always access, which we had to this year, last year. We had to get an ambulance up through. Unfortunately, the ambulance driver didn't want to reverse back. She wanted to drive forward. I don't think she can reverse back. But we had to get her and then go back down another street, which we had overhangs, and it was just a nightmare. But we managed to get there, and the boy that fell off the ride was all right in the end. So we had 2 incidences, but they were both dealt with quite quickly.
Yeah, I do think that the crossroads area predictably is really dense at times. It's very, very busy. So I think maybe we can clear things away from that.
I think it's taking, I mean, we did try this before. We moved some of the food stalls down different roads and things like that. But the amount of people when, I think Nikki, because Nikki's out on the street and everybody that had been allocated a place, then they looked at Bell Street and said, no, we don't want to go in Bell Street, we want to go up in the marketplace. And a lot of people wanted to try and swap.
Yeah.
And you've got to have and then some people just turn up and set up in a place that they weren't even allocated for. So it's just it's a hell of a lot of work. especially finishing with.
I mean,
putting all
these
this
are good problems to have. We have more traders wanting to come to it than we have space for. We have more people coming to it than we can manage. So we, these
I
are
think
good problems to
Hart
have.
Street is where you can probably put a few more in between the rides and then take the congestion out of the. So I think if you have a few more different aspects of where the stalls are thriving, move them into other places because people still go to them places.
Okay, any further comments? Okay. So we'll move on to item 10, which is progress. The graffiti.
Absolutely.
That's quite good.
Yeah, it does.
That's done a good job there.
Actually, so I've had several people said they should have left it because it was part of Henley.
It had become part of it.
Yeah.
Been there so long, it was almost listed in its own right.
Yeah, it almost got a preservation order.
Council
Out,
Hospital.
out of interest, what was the problem with the vehicles this morning?
I think it was emergency roadworks
Something to
and
do towards
the
the Wargrave Way.
Walgrave Road.
As you're coming up, there's freeway lights. Coming up Remham
On the
Hill,
Wokingham side.
it's all, and down Remham Hill, down Walgrave Road, and coming in, there's freeway lights.
And I don't believe they told us anything about it, did they?
So will it continue?
Tomorrow.
It was there tonight, when I come through, it's still there.
Still
I think
Scheduled for
that's
2 days.
connecting electrics to that building.
The new
Oh,
building.
is that what it's for?
Yeah.
But they should have known about that. Why didn't we? get
Well, I knew
involved?
about it yesterday. Because I was clearing the place behind and they said they were going to close the road and to connect the electrics up because that has to be completed.
So it wasn't an emergency, it was just planned works they didn't bother telling us about, is that right? Oh, how lovely.
It's not outside that new building, though, it's further down, it's literally on the junction of
Is
the hill.
Is it?
Well, tonight it was anyway, it's literally on the road work bits is.
I know they
you come
said
up
they-
Remham, down Remham Hill, up Walgrave Hill, it's that bit just there, it all converges.
Ah.
But it was tonight anyway.
Because it backed up all the way down New Street and right the way back to the roundabout.
Just as an aside, though, there's also roadworks in, on Caversham Bridge, stop Caversham Bridge. There's roadworks just off Reading Bridge, and everybody's trying to get through Sonning runs up, and it just overflows. All 4 bridges.
We are a bit pushed for time at the moment because we have another meeting after this, so if we can just stick to the progress reports for now. Is there anything else that anybody urgently needs to talk about on the progress reports?
Just a question about towns, and I don't know what the issues are, but what is ongoing?
Well, we're still unhappy at the loss of the step down beds and trying to make sure that they are, the NHS communicates to us how patient is being met in the absence, continuing absence of those. Although Oxfordshire County Council has reviewed the decision and has decided that it doesn't need to be go any further. And we're still concerned at the hospice beds.
Okay.
And more generally, I mean, keep making sure that changes in NHS are communicated effectively to us.
Is there a scheduled meeting of the PSG?
There isn't at the moment, no.
Okay. Fair enough.
Just one quick. The bollards are missing bollards, and most of the bollards get sheared off at the ground level, and you can re-sleeve those, which is what I suggested to Parks ages ago, and Parks did get done on the riverside because if we can't, I mean, most of them can be reinstated by re-sleeving the inside because they're hollow. Because if we don't, I mean, when they go off to Oxfordshire County Council or Selfridge Council, whoever deals with those, they come out and they put a different one in. So as time goes on, we're going to have loads of different types of bollards all the way down the high street. So if we can try and get the ones that get knocked over reinstated. And there's one that I've reported, which is outside the kebab shop, that's not been put back. And people tend to get quite tight to that.
Well, there's been an update since November, so maybe we can put some pressure on somehow. Anything else? Okay.
Sorry, more. One last question, the Marshall footbridge,
Yeah.
have the letters gone,
Yes.
Chief Vicar?
Yeah.
And have we had a reply?
Just holding the pipe.
That's it. Thank you very much, everybody.